Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from around the world and all over the United States, too. Welcome, everybody. Wow. It's been a week for Tom and I. For those of you who don't know, Tom and I both got COVID right after Christmas, and we weren't around for the whole last week. And I'll tell you what, we missed you guys. It was terrible without you. So we are so glad to be back. We're both feeling a little bit better than horrible. That was that was the where we were trying to land. But tonight we have a lot of fun because we're going to do a fun stencil technique we're going to do two different ways to do this. We're going to do one way where you use stencils for emboss resist, and we're going to use stencils underneath. Well, we're going to use a pattern underneath stencils to create a really neat look. So we're going to have a lot of fun. But before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hey, Happy New Year, everybody.
How are you?
Better than horrible. Last week was not better than horrible.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Horrific.
Yeah.
Our house was like a crack house with just bodies just falling wherever, sleeping wherever they fell.
It's true. New Year's Eve, our big activity was to switch couches in the living room. That was the big thing that we did. It was very fun. Different perspective.
A quick word of the day. The word of the day is bland. That's where I reside now. I've been deprived of my sense of smell, my sense of taste, as many of you out there, I'm sure, have experienced. But bland. I'm in the land of bland.
The dead space of taste.
The bland canyon. The bland stand. Bland old Opry. The promised bland. It's horrific. I can manage, I can recognize salt and some sugar. So my favorite soup now is cream of salt. That's what I've been enjoying.
So you got the word of the day out right away.
Yeah, bland.
Bland. All right. Well, I'm glad to see you. I know you can mute your mic. Tom still has the cough and congestion. I never got that. I just got the fever and the body aches and the whole thing. But anyway, we're here to craft, not talk about sick. Let's put that in 2022. So Happy New Year, everyone. Let's have some fun. I know a lot of you took advantage of our sale that we had the last week of December up to New Year's Eve. So I thought I would pull some of those products out that we had at deep discounted prices, because I know a lot of you have them on the way. And one of the stencils that I want to use tonight is this Layered Hearts set, but I'm only going to use one layer. I'm not going to use the design. We're going to create a design using a background stamp. And then I also want to use the Rose Swirl. I like this stencil, and it's a beautiful stencil, and it's very rounded and stuff. But when you use it the way I'm going to use it tonight, it looks much more mosaic, and I think you're going to enjoy that quite a bit. All right, so let's get started with our first card. I am going to start with the mosaic idea, and that's going to be using the Rose Swirl stencil. And I have a piece of cardstock here cut 3.5 inches by 4 3/4 of an inch. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of tape here. This is a little washi tape, and I'm just going to roll it into like a little circle. And then I'm going to put it on the back here, and I'm going to tack it down onto my cardstock just to keep that in place. Okay. And then I am going to use some Masking Magic strips. Now, if you haven't tried the Masking Magic strips, they're awesome. They come in 3 different sizes in this pack, 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, and a 1/2 inch. Now, if you don't have the Masking Magic strips, you can use the regular Masking Magic and you can just cut the strips yourself. I'm going to use the 1/4 inch strips for my cards tonight. I thought about doing the 1/2 inch strips, but I'm not sure if my words are going to be small enough to fit in there. So I think the 1/4 of an inch is going to do it. So I am just placing Masking Magic strips around the perimeter of this card because I want this to have a little bit of a layered look. I always think it finishes it off really in a neat way when you do this. You do want to make sure that you completely cover the edge of the perimeter. And then see how I'm just turning this spare piece of cardstock? I'm just like turning it as I go. It makes it easier to line these up. And of course, you don't have to use as much Masking Magic. You could cut these down to fit. But I like, especially for this technique, to have that extra hold onto this piece of cardstock so it doesn't move around when I'm using my stencil. All right, so we have that in place there. Now I'm going to use the Rose Swirl stencil. I'm going to put that on top. Welcome, everyone. We have so many people here tonight. Thank you so much for coming and being here with us for an hour or so this evening. We missed you so much last week. We really did, and it's great to see you. Okay, so I am taping this down. I don't know how well it's going to stay down because the pad that I'm going to be using for this, the ink pad, is going to be the Embossing and Watermark pad. And this is very juicy and it's going to get all over this tape and it might actually lift it. So I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure there. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use this Embossing and Watermark pad, and instead of stenciling this in color, I'm going to smash this ink through this stencil. But it's hard to get it through completely, which you can if you really want to work it, but I don't want to work it that hard because I want this to look less like this stencil and more like mosaic. If you've ever seen the mosaic where they take broken glass pieces and they put them all together, or broken little concrete pieces, that's what I want this to kind of look like. So I'm going to hold it down just to be safe, and I'm just going to press this ink into this stencil. The pad is a little bit squishy, so it will press down into the stencil a bit. But you do have to kind of wiggle it a little to really get it there. And it does, sometimes it pulls your pad off. So if it does that, you can just glue it back on with some Gorilla Glue or something like that. Even Connect Glue will glue it back on. But it's because it's so sticky and it gets caught into the stencil. So just be a little bit careful with it. And I'll just glue that back down later. You can also use a hot glue gun. All right. I don't mind too much because it's easy to glue back down. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. There it is. Yeah, see, it's glued on with hot glue at the manufacturer. And so if they oversaturate this pad a little bit, this can come out only because it is such a sticky ink that it gets down onto this pad. So if you have a hot glue gun, just glue it back down. You can also use Connect Glue for that. It doesn't really seem to matter unless you're pushing it through a stencil. And I think that's where I get myself in trouble. I like to do these kinds of techniques. I think an ink cube might have worked a little bit better because it's smaller, but I'm not worried about it. Okay, so now I'm going to pull this off, but I'm not going to take the Masking Magic off. Okay. All right, so this looks really very cool. I know that you can't see this yet, but it is a very, very interesting look. So I'm going to leave everything right here on this piece of cardstock, and then I'm going to put white embossing powder on here. Probably could have squished it down a little bit better in some spots, but that's okay. All right. You can also, if you want, and I didn't have one, and I should probably locate them. But you could also use a thick sponge dauber. So if you want not a distress tool, but definitely a sponge dauber would work. Okay, so I'm going to get a little paintbrush here and just dust away a few of these that I don't think I want. There's just a couple little spots that I don't think I want in there. Okay, maybe here too. And then I'm just going to blow that away. Okay, looking good. Now I'm going to heat this up, and this is kind of nice that it's all attached because you don't have to take it off of this piece of cardstock and you don't have to worry about burning your fingers. I did pick this up at Simon Says Stamp. This is called Hot Hands, and it's great for holding your cardstock while you're embossing it, but I won't need to use it for this one. All right, and you want to make sure that you really emboss it well, and you also emboss anything that's on the masking magic. You don't want any loose embossing powder because we're going to be doing some blending over this. All right. And if there's any spots that don't look completely filled in, you can go back and throw a little bit of embossing ink back over it. And I do see a spot that looks a little bit empty. So I might do that. And let's see if I have an old sponge dauber. I think I do. Let me just look in here. Yeah, I do. I have an old one. It might have a little blue on it, but I'm going to try it. Okay. So all you have to do, if you have a little spot that you want to fill in, you can just put your stencil back down. Just make sure you don't put it upside down. And I'm just getting some ink onto the sponge dauber. And then you can press that through like that. And that will work. That's perfect. So I'm going to get this white powder and just fill in that area. So that area just didn't have anything. I was too light-handed with it, and now it does. So it looks good. Okay. Let's emboss that. There we go. That looks pretty good. Okay, now you can see down here I've got embossing powder. I can either emboss that just so that it doesn't become a problem. I think I'll do that. Or you can take the whole thing off and just flip it onto the other side. But I'll just emboss this and get it out of the way. I just don't want anything to be powdery because I'm going to use ink and blending brushes on this. Okay, so I'm going to do a nice rainbow pattern on here. And I'm going to start with some red hot ink. Let me get my ink stand. I think I'm going to get the ink stand that they're making in black to match my new black Misty. I'm kind of excited about that. Plus, I think black would be good because it won't show any ink if I'm messy, which I am. So I'm starting with red hot, and I'm going to just do a kind of a diagonal pattern. So I'm going to do a little bit of diagonal here. And you see how it looks just like splattery? Let's see. How do you get embossing ink off the stencil? Oh, so it's really easy. All you have to do is take it to your sink and wash it with a little bit of Dawn dish detergent or something like that, and it comes right off. All right, I'm going to use some orange now. I'm going to go with Tangerine Twist. Welcome, everybody. Oh, we have so many people here. It's great to see you. So we're making this nice and vibrant. I love how choppy that looks. It looks all chopped up. It really does kind of look like concrete in there. Now we'll do a little bit of yellow. This is Wild Dandelion. And of course, you can use any colors that you want. I mean, you don't have to do a rainbow. I have just been missing the warm weather, and rainbows always remind me of bright summer cards, and I'm really in the mood for that. I love making Christmas cards, and I've had so much fun making them with you, but I am really ready for something different. Okay. Now we'll get some green. This is the Lucky Clover. Good morning. People coming in from Europe, from England. Good morning. And what's neat about this is, you know, you would have a very, very detailed design if you were just going right through the stencil. But this gives you less detail, more of a chunky batik kind of look. And then it also is raised. So you've got a lot of texture on this card, which is really fun. And now I'm going to use some Turquoise Sea. I've got to keep a little room for purple. I think it's going to be okay when I pull the masking magic off. I think it's going to still have a nice crisp edge. One can hope. We'll see. We'll all experience it together. So the best way to make sure your colors blend together, and this may sound a little biased, I don't mean to be, but Gina K Designs ink has a smoothing agent, and as it dries, it really does dry very well blended. So that helps a lot. But you also want to make sure you have a super smooth cardstock, which is what our 80-pound layering weight is, super smooth. And then you want to make sure you have a good quality blending brush. All blending brushes are not exactly the same. I remember when we were designing our blending brushes, the manufacturer sent us a bunch of different bristle types, different heads to try and different bristles. And some of them did not feel as smooth as others. And I think that they're good for different things. Like if you have a rougher blending brush, it's better for stippling and things like that. I take the color clips off because I tend to shoot them across the room, and I just don't want to do that. It takes me forever to find them. Okay, so I'm going to wipe the excess off of here first, just to make sure that I don't have it all over the white parts. There we go. And now I'm going to peel the masking magic off. So there we go. Nice crisp lines there. Okay. Ooh, that one came off together. Now, sometimes I can keep my masking magic strips. Other times I can't. I have a little bit of a rough edge because of the embossing powder on the edge. So what you can do is you can just take your paper cutter and butt it right up to the edge and just trim that off. And it's just really like a dusting off the edge. So I'm not really cutting anything off. I'm just pressing it up to the edge. And the little bits of embossing powder that are kind of like hardened and stuck off the edge just come off like a little powdery, feathery thing. But that just cleans it up a little bit. I love that look. Isn't that fun? Yep, you could use a sandy eraser too, Cindy, you're right, or a nail file or something like that. That would definitely work. Okay, so let's create a card here. All right, so it doesn't matter which way I go at the top. It could be the purple side at the top. It could be the red side at the top. But I think that's, which way I put it is going to determine what color greeting I use for this. So I'm going to put this on a black piece of cardstock. Let's zoom in. Ooh, that's too fast, boy. That was like you were free falling. Sorry about that. Did you feel like you were falling to earth? All right. So we'll get this on here like that. And then we're going to put this on a white card base. And then I've got a die that I want to use for this. I really like the way this looks. It does not look like the stencil. It just looks very, what does this look like, Tom? Like modern art or? There's a style of art I know people in here will know. Gotta get rid of Barry. Sorry, Barry. We'll see ya. Tom is the fastest troll eliminator. Okay, so these dies were on sale, and I think they're really fun. These are some of our big word dies. They're the caps. So this was called Friend Caps. And I thought this would be fun to use down here at the bottom of the card, or maybe even like in the middle a little bit. Could also do it this way. Then I'd have to put it on a top fold card, and that wouldn't be bad to do. So I guess it really doesn't matter. Let's see how it looks. We'll lay it out both ways. I'm going to move this just in case, just up a little bit. You know, it looks good in one direction, but not in both directions. So let me get rid of that. Okay. I don't know. You know, depending on what direction I use it, it's going to look different. So I'm going to put it back where it was, and we're going to try it this way. Yeah, I think we should try it this way. Even if it extends just a little bit, I think that won't be too bad. Okay, so I'm going to cut the word friend out, and I think I'm going to use some red hot cardstock. Let's see if I have any of that close by. I do. I think red hot is a fun color. And I think it looks nice with the red up here since it's the same ink color. It'll look really nice, especially if we're putting the word down here a little bit more. Yeah, I'm glad the purple made it too. Okay. So before I actually cut the word friend out, I'm going to make it match the size, the piece of paper. I'm going to make it match the size of this white part, which is 3.5 inches across. So I'm going to cut a strip of cardstock here. It doesn't matter as long as it's big enough. And then I'm going to make sure that it's 3.5 inches. And the reason I want to do that is because when I cut the word friend out, I want to be able to lay this across and then place my letters so I know that they're centered. I hope that makes sense. So let's get the die cutting machine in here, and we're going to fall back a little bit here. All right. So I want to make sure that my friend word is in the center. And that looks pretty centered to me. That's just going to help me place my letters. Now, if you want, you can use a little bit of washi tape. Whew, it is warm in here. Now, Tom and I are on very different wavelengths when it comes to temperature, because Tom has been freezing and I'm always sweating because I have my own personal weather patterns. And I guarantee you, out of the 3,000 of you that are here right now, all 3,000 of you know what I'm talking about. We have our own personal weather patterns. Oh my goodness. No, I'm not going to cover the whole bottom of the card. What I am going to do is use this as a template. So let me show you. You see how my letters are falling out here? I want to get all the letters out. Okay, all my letters are out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay this here because that'll allow me to stick my letters through there and glue them down, and it's going to evenly space them for me. Otherwise, I'm just eyeballing it, you know, it makes it a little harder. This is just a faster way to go. And then I cut out the hello word because I don't think friend is enough. So I cut out the word hello, and I'm just going to place hello like right on top. So that looks like a pretty good place for this friend. So I have it in place here. I'm going to use a little bit of masking magic to hold it down. Let me get a bigger one. I've got these 1/2 inch pieces here, these strips. I love using the masking magic strips to hold things down to my finished card because it doesn't tear anything. So I can put this in place here and it'll hold it down. I think I'll just put it right, well, that was dumb there. I think you'll see what I mean. Like it's just so easy to work with, and you don't have to worry about it pulling your ink up or anything. Okay, so now I have my little template, and then I need to find my Connect glue. So let me grab that. Here it is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just fill this in like that. And I'm going to pop the F in there. Press it down. And we'll get the R in here. Remember, you don't want to put anything in the middle because that's an open letter. So leave that middle open. And then we'll pop the R in. And the I. I'm making it a little gluey and messy, so I might struggle a little to get this off, but we'll see. Hopefully not. Okay. If I work fast, it won't be as dry. Get the E in. The N. And the D. That's upside down. There is an upside down on the end, believe it or not. You'll know because it doesn't fit like a puzzle if it's in there incorrectly. And then the D. And again, don't go into the center of the D. It's very gluey. Okay. Now let's take the masking magic off and wish me the best of luck here. I think I'm going to use my pick and stick tool. To pull this off. There we go. So now you can see friend is where it's supposed to be. I did get a little glue there, so I will just... There we go. Okay. So now you can see it's lined up fairly well, right? Now we're going to put the hello on top. I'm just going to have it like go over like that. Isn't that fun? It's such an easy way to add to use those big greetings. I really enjoy this layout. All right, so I have 2 of these glued together. I had a bunch of time to do nothing, and I just die cut a bunch of words and layered them. So hello is one of them that I did. I also did love, and we're going to do that on the next card. Okay. How you doing over there, Tom?
In the bland space.
In the bland space.
The bland stand.
There we go.
So, you know how on menus they put fare, like breakfast fare?
Yeah.
You know, seafood fare.
Yes.
Well, my main diet for the last week has been unfair.
It really has. I feel so bad. Like in the morning, Tom will drink coffee and he'll be like, I don't taste it. Can't imagine not tasting my coffee. All right, so there's my first card. Isn't that fun? Okay, so now let's make the second card. Grab this piece of cardstock again. I'll use this side this time. Now this would be fun too if we put a few little rhinestones on there or little sequins. Maybe we'll do that just to bling it up. I'll put one there, one up here, and one down here. And I'll use some of these disco ball sequins. By the way, I sent a ton of cards out today. So for those of you that were waiting for your card since November, I sent a ton of them out today. So I apologize for the delay. We got super busy, and I think this needs a few more. Can put them in. Do one there too. We got super busy with Black Friday, and you guys know I was kind of helping a little bit with that. A little bit, not a lot. They did most of it. And now we're slammed again because of our sale. So those just sat on my my desk. And my poor friend Mari Clark won the 12 ink pads. Is that what it is? 12 ink pads. And somehow that got put on my desk as well. And so she's been waiting since November 16th for me to ship her ink pads that she won. That was a giveaway a while back. So, all right. So there is the first card. Now the second card, I'm going to use a background stamp instead. So let's cut this down. Piece of cardstock down to 3.5 once again by 4 3/4. Okay. Now for this one, we're going to once again use the masking magic. You know what? I'm going to get a different piece of cardstock here because honestly, I've got so much embossing powder everywhere that I don't know if it's going to stick. And I have another piece right here that I can use. Okay. I use these over and over again when I'm practicing card ideas. Okay, so again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go around the whole thing, but this one we're going to do in more Valentine's colors. So we're not going to do a full rainbow. I think a really pretty combination for Valentine's Day is Passionate Pink, Wild Lilac, and Tangerine Twist. I love that little splash of orange in there. I think that's really fun. So we're going to do that. Vicks Vapor Rub helped. Oh, Tom, did you hear that tip?
Yes.
We got to get some. We got to try that. That is strong. Vicks Vapor Rub. That makes your eyes water. Okay. Yeah, I had a lot of tags and a lot of cards to send out, and I got them all out today. Okay. All right, so for this, I am going to use the Embossing Magic Pad first. I know I was telling my daughter I really don't send Valentines per se. I send more Galentines cards, you know, to my friends, things like that. So, okay, so this is going to be a little tricky, but I think if we get ink all over this, we should be in good shape. So I'm going to ink this up. I want to ink it up everywhere so that I don't miss part of it. This is our Petite Flourish background stamp. I think we're going to start doing some of these stamps in clear, these big backgrounds, because the clear is getting so good now. It's not like it used to be. It's so good. Okay. And then I'm going to place this on top like this. And then I'm going to rub it. And I'm being very careful to rub all the way around the perimeter of that piece of cardstock because I want to make sure that it goes all the way to the edge of that masking magic. Okay. There we go. I think that should do it. Oh yeah, that looks good. Okay, once again, I'm going to use the white powder. I had a lot of pink ink on that stamp. That's why it looks just a little pink. It's not really pink, but it looks a little pink. Okay, the white will cover it. That looks good. And now I'm going to emboss this. Oh, eucalyptus is a good one too if you've lost your sense of smell, huh? Yes, it will come back in stock. I think we're going to do it in clear, the Petite Flourish. Seems to take a while to get the rubber, and the cost of rubber is really going up. And we can get pretty good impression with clear. And I don't want to raise prices. I just don't want to. Constantly doing everything that I can to not have to raise prices. Okay, we're getting there. This is a cool stamp. But you can use any background stamp, or you can create your own background with, like, the holiday tapestry would be beautiful, or any little stamps that you have you can use and create your own viney background. You just want to make sure you get it completely covered. Oh, this is going to be so pretty. We'll see if we can get it in quickly. I'm going to see if the guy who does our rubber can do a rush. We'll see. Okay. So this layered heart stencil, this was one of the ones that was on sale last week. I'm only going to use the open part. I'm not going to use all this detail. These are fun. You can use either one of these by itself, or you can use them together. Alrighty. So let's make sure that that's not hot anymore. I'm going to place this here, and I'm going to tack it down with some washi. And then I'm going to do a blend, and I'm going to start with some of that orange. So I'm going to use Tangerine Twist. Yeah, they come back in like 500 pieces at a time, and then they seem to go out really fast, these background stamps. Okay, so I'm going to start just up here, doing a little of that. And then I'm going to add some pink. So this is Passionate Pink. Passionate Pink and Tangerine Twist, they really meld beautifully together. I love the color that they make in between. It's very red. And then I like to go back over it with a little bit of the orange again. And now we're going to get that wild lilac in there. We cannot not have the purple. But can you see that design coming through? Isn't that fun? Get that purple up in there, and then I'm going to go back with the pink again down into that purple. Now I'm going to add more pink on the other side. You don't want to start again with orange here, because orange and purple are going to turn kind of brown, so you don't want to do that. Get more purple in here. And then we'll finish it up with a little bit of tangerine. So tangerine just on the corners. Get a little bit more of that pink in there. Yeah, wherever that pink and orange come together, it makes red. Really fun. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I think it's going to look good when we take it off. Alrighty. So let's get rid of the stencil. Ooh, those are pretty. And then let's just rub away the excess off of the white to brighten up the white. And now, in order to make this look good, not that it doesn't look good, but we want to be able to see this white border, we're going to go back over with the orange brush, and around the orange, we're going to add a little bit of orange. You see how light that is, but it just fills it in. And then we're going to add a little bit of the pink. Go back over the line between them. A little more pink. Now we'll add the purple. See, I'm not putting any more ink on this brush. But when we do this, we allow that border to be nice and crisp then. And I also think it makes it look more like pattern paper. It's not just these hearts randomly floating around, but you've got a background color in there too. And it's a beautiful background because it's very misty and blendy. Back with the pink, and then finally with some of that orange. Now that edge is going to show nice and crisp. Okay, so once again, we're going to wipe that all down so we get to see that pretty pattern underneath. And now we can take our masking magic off. Took a little bit off up there just by rubbing. Isn't that fun? The crispness of that. Isn't that really pretty? I like that. That just makes me feel happy. Okay, so now we need to cut a black piece, and then we're going to cut the word you. Last time we used the word friend, we're going to cut out this big U. Let me find it here. It's this big U die. And then we're going to add that to this word. So we'll have the word love. So love is going to be up here. This is from the A Little Love Layering Stencil Bundle. And then we'll put you right down here. So this way we get to still see a lot of the hearts. So we could do the word you in white, but I think it would be really pretty in, let's look at Passionate Pink. I think Passionate Pink would look really good with that. So let's do Passionate Pink letters. We should look at red, but see, let's look at red. Oh, red would look good too. All right, I'll leave it up to you guys. Should we have a red U or a Passionate Pink U? Let's look at that on both sides, and you guys tell me. Oh, purple. Well, see, the word's going to go mostly in the middle, so it's going to cover a lot of the purple. So I think purple and purple might be a little too close. Okay, everybody, most people are saying pink. There are some reds, but most of you guys are saying pink. You think the pink will show up as much as the red? Oh, now I'm getting more reds. I'm getting a lot of reds. Getting a lot of pink too. All right, since we did the last one in red, let's try this one in pink and we'll see how it looks. If it's not bright enough, we've got time. We can cut another one if we want to. It's only 3 letters, so it'll be super easy. Okay, so again, we're going to cut this. We want to make sure it's big enough there. So we're going to cut this, and then we need this to be 3.5 inches. Okay, here we go. Now we'll get the die cutting machine and we'll cut out the word you in the center of this the best that I can. It is delicate looking. I love those hearts. That's called the Layered Hearts stencil. I feel like I will be using that one quite a bit. Okay, so I'm going to cut that out right about there. I think that looks fairly centered. We'll see. I do need my washi. Yeah, I'm getting mixed messages. Some people like the red, some people like the pink. I do like how striking the red looks. I'm not gonna lie. I do, but I did do red on the last one, and I feel like maybe the pink and black might look good together. Okay, we'll see how this looks. I hope it's straight, but we'll know. Let me get rid of this. Okay, we'll just take a little look at it here. It's going to look good up against that black. Do we see these letters strong enough? I don't know. I don't think we do. I think we should do it in red, guys. I think the red might show up better. I mean, what do you think, Tom? It's hard to see it. I don't see it as much. I think it's because it's over the pink part, and I really didn't take that into consideration. Let me just lay it out here, just kind of haphazardly. You guys,
Does it have to be a red shade?
well, no, but I mean, it could be purple, but I think it would just disappear on that purple. It has to be one of these shades. If we put the love on top. That's so cute. That's really cute. Okay, let's cut a red one, and then we'll decide. We'll look at them both, because we've got time. We've got 15 minutes. And these cards go so fast. So let's cut a red one. We have nothing to lose, except a little bit of red cardstock that I can use on another card. I'm not worried about it. I just have to cut it down to 3.5 inches here. I think orange would get lost too. I don't know why I think that. I am also going to use Masking Magic because I tore my little template. So either way, I needed another one. I'm going to use Masking Magic for this. Masking Magic is just good for everything. Do a couple pieces of that there. Okay. Let's try this again. Now, I know you guys don't get offended when I don't pick your color. I know you don't. But if by chance you do, and you have any of this stuff, I'd love you to make it your way. Yeah, silver would be good. Glitter would be good. If I had some glitter cardstock, that would be good. I don't have those things though. I do have silver. All right, let's take a look at the red. I don't know. You guys might like it better. All right, so there's the pink. The pink is cute. And you know, not everything has to be super bold. I mean, it's not like you can't see it. But you can really see the red. I don't know, I feel like the red makes the red parts of this stand out more. Maybe it makes it more Valentine's-y. Okay, that's very, very not laid out nicely, but do you like the red? Yeah, the red shows up better. I agree. I'm sorry, all my pink friends. I love you, pink friends. You know I do. Okay. We'll do red. We'll lay this right here. And we'll do red. Back with the Masking Magic. Okay. I think before I do this part, I believe I am going to mount this onto the black panel and onto the card base, just so that everything is in place, so I don't have to flip it upside down while the letters are trying to dry. So I'm just trimming this down. Now, if you don't want to trim these down, you can cut these using Master Layouts 2. It is the same cut as the Master Layouts 2 die said. And I know you guys got good deals over the weekend. We had some ridiculous prices over the weekend. We don't do a lot of sales, but when we do the Black Friday and then the end of the year, we do have some crazy stuff because we are trying to, you know, clearance some overstock out and make some room for 2023. All right. I do like the colors of this one. I think that other one would have been really pretty if I had just done green, blue, and purple. So if you're not a rainbow type and you just, you know, you don't really want the full rainbow effect, you could use those 3 colors on that one and then these 3 colors on this one if you want to mix it up. Did I lose the other card? Although the rainbow is fun, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay, let's get this back in place here. This does help with the spacing. Alrighty, connect glue. This one should go in pretty easy. It's just 3 letters. Oops. Y. And just go around here. The O. And then the U. Alrighty, where is that? Here it is. Here we go. Okay, and we'll pop the love. I like it to touch a little bit. So I think that's so fun. It is cute. It was a hard call because the pink, I mean, who doesn't love pink? And I don't use a lot of pink, so it's extra fun to use it, but I gotta clean the top of my Connect off, my little fine tip bottle. Sometimes I don't cap it and then it dries on top and you gotta pick the top off. All right. So, you know, Valentine's Day cards, love cards are always fun to make, and I think you can send them to anybody. I mean, it doesn't have to be a romantic love. You can send this to your daughter or your granddaughter. You can send this to your best friend. It's never a wrong time to say love you. We're going to have that just go a little bit outside there. Oh, how cute. How cute is that? Okay, and we'll add just a few little disco ball sequins on there. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. Find my zoomer. Here we go. So you can see it up close. Put a sequin there. It is very hard to see where you put the dots with this background. I should probably do them one at a time or I'm never going to see them. I already lost the other one. It's right there. Maybe not. Oh yeah, it is. Okay. A few more. One in there. Two tiny ones in these little spots. I have glue all over my fingers. We'll do a bigger one down here. Maybe a bigger one up here. Okay, I think that's cute. So there we've got that little bit of sparkle and shine. So that's two fun ways to use your stencils to create just a different look. It just stretches your stencils a bit and gives you some fun backgrounds. And then, of course, you get to use these big words that we all love to use. And sometimes it's hard to figure out how to use big words on your cards because you've got a lot going on in the card and you don't want to cover that much. But when you're just doing a simple background like this, it's okay to cover a lot of it because you can still see it all through there. All right, Tom. Well, we're going to give these away tonight. And if you're new to Gina K Designs and this is your first time, first of all, welcome. We're so glad you're here. To win, all you have to do during our live is just drop a comment. Doesn't matter what it is. And Tom just randomly chooses from all the comments. So let's give away this first card. We'll give away this Hello Friend card. I love this one.
All right, cheesy drum roll, please, for the new year. All right, the first winners of the new year are Gail Kantz. Gail Kantz.
Congratulations, Gail. You get the Hello Friend card. Okay, and then who gets the Love You card?
Love You card goes to Linda A. Warrington.
Linda, congratulations. All right, friends. Well, all you have to do is send your name and address to info@ginakdesigns.com. And I promise I will get these out to you because my desk is clear right now. So I'm going to try to keep it up. That's one of my missions, my resolutions for 2023. We'll see how that goes. All right, everybody. Well, this was so much fun, and it's so great to be back with you. Tom and I will be back again on Thursday. One quick order of business. Our website's going to be down for a couple hours tomorrow. They are actually doing a bunch of updates, and it's just easier to pull the site down for a few hours. So if you go over there and you can't get on, it'll be back up shortly. Just hang in there. It's going to go down around 2 o'clock Central Time, and it'll stay down probably until after dinner. So, all right, everybody. Well, we will be back on Thursday with another Stampin' Wait a minute. Is it this Thursday? Yeah, we'll be here Thursday. This Thursday. Next Thursday, we're going to finally have our holiday party, our Christmas party. But this Thursday, we'll be back at noon, and then I'll be back over the weekend with another 5-minute card video. Until then, stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much. And we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.